Hello, wonderful people. For those of you who are already familiar with the Xero Z-Trail, I want to jump right into what's a little bit different about the new Z-Trail EV model. The top side of the outsole is the same. The lacing system, everything up here seems to be the same. But on the bottom, the lugs are deeper, thicker, and up here where at the ball of the foot, where we make contact with the ground the most, the lugs are spread apart for better grip. And another really key point, in my opinion, is that the more heavy-duty, rugged rubber on the back at the heel goes deeper towards the center of the outsole. So why would that be important? This is the older Z-Trail. I purchased these right at the beginning of the pandemic last year and put a lot of miles on them. In fact, this was the first Z-Trail that I completed an entire 100-mile race in. What you can hopefully see here is the black rubber, which is the heavier rubber. There's not as much on the previous model, and I feel like there's maybe a millimeter left at the ball of my foot where it makes contact on the ground. Almost seems like I could push my finger through there. So I think in terms of the 5,000-mile warranty for Xero shoes, it makes sense to make that more heavy duty right there. So the EV, the new Z-Trail EV is actually my fourth pair of these, and this pair was purchased, I believe, last fall, specifically to keep a fresh pair around for running 100-mile races. So the second and third 100-mile races that I've ran in Xero Z-Trails were in this exact, from this set. And while I have it here, that's a good opportunity to show you the difference in the tread and design. With the previous model in brown here, you can see less of the more rugged black tread, and up front at the ball of the foot, hopefully you can see how much less tread there is up there, and maybe you can see that they are deeper as well. This Z-Trail is several years old from when they originally came out. Now, the lacing system has been, the material on the new model is, it's just been upgraded. And it also seems to me like the side posts are a little bit thicker on the newer model. But when this model came out, I thought it was a real game changer for Xero shoes, because that was when they started melding, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but melding together various weights of rubber. This black rubber on the bottom at the contact points is the most heavy. It has got the least amount of air mixed into the rubber. And on top, there's sort of a thin, nice, relatively cushy layer that feels really good on the bottoms of the feet. And so when you land on, say, a sharp piece of crushed gravel, it just makes that much more tolerable. And the middle rubber, the gray, is sort of a blend in between there. It has just a little bit of cushion to it. So why is that important? After a lot of miles and wear, a lot of hours in these, walking and running, the various weights of rubber allow the ball of the foot and especially the heel of the foot to mold to the shape. And on the previous model Z-Trail, it might have been a little bit too much molding. So I think that extra heavy-duty black rubber on the back is going to kind of balance that out. The Z Trail has definitely become one of my very favorite pieces of footwear out there. And the reason I have 4 pair of these is that with the molding and the wear, as they become thinner from wear, as they become molded, the application changes. Whereas this super well-worn pair is fantastic for a 10-mile hike pretty much anywhere, or even a 10, 20-mile training run. If I want to go 100 miles, especially on trails, I want the air to still be in the rubber for the most part. I'll need that cushion at 90 miles into a gravel towpath. Initially, the Z Trail for me was the sandal that I would wear after running an ultra marathon in a Huarache style toe post sandal. A month ago, I got my 7th in a row finish at the C&O Canal 100. That race, of course, wearing this pair of Z Trails. After I put quite a few more miles on the EV model, I'm sure I'll come back and do a follow-up video. But for now, what I'll do before taking these out on a long trail run are just a couple minor modifications. And I would love it if Xero could somehow build it into their manufacturing process to have this, especially on the front side, but you might as well do both sides, kind of bevel that down a little bit and smooth it out, especially on the inside. I only seem to have a problem with my left pinky toe, but sometimes it rubs on this piece of rubber here. So the first thing I'll do with this pair is take a kitchen scissors, trim some of this extra rubber off on the side post by my left and right pinky toes, and then take a Dremel tool and sort of smooth that out a little bit. So that should eliminate any risk of my pinky toe getting rubbed raw. If I had to, I'd wrap a little medical tape around that toe. And another minor thing, I think some people love the way that it's built up around the heel there. That's real easy for me to trim off with the kitchen scissors. I just take it off. And that's about it. The only other thing that I'll do with these is very liberally on the inside of the laces and the side post, everything that from the lacing system that touches my foot, I'll coat it generously with Body Glide. And if I run a 100-mile race, before the next race, I would reapply that. A future model for Xero shoes that I would love to see is sort of a hybrid between the Xero Genesis and the Xero Z Trail EV. It would be incredible to have this outsole with a Huarache toe post built into it. Rather than having that round base holding the fabric toe post in, it might make sense to make it a diamond or a square shape so that it won't rotate. Where it might get tricky for the designers and engineers, production people, it is in retaining this style side posts and incorporating the toe post Huarache strap into that design. Somehow, I mean, I'm sure there could be a side post added to the Z Trail design, but this, in terms of the back side post by the heel, that's really more comfortable in my opinion. So a hybrid, something a little bit thicker, more cushion with this outsole with the Huarache toe post would just be extraordinary. So thank you Xero Shoes for the upgrades built into the EV. I think they're going to be phenomenal. One slight concern I had with the more spread out and evidently thicker treads is that they might feel a little bit more like cleats on a hard surface. But so far, walking on hardwood and hard tile, trotting around the house, I'm not getting that sensation at all. I believe they're going to be absolutely perfect for trail running and road running. I'm eager to get out and start really getting these things dirty. In fact, I've got one of my biggest 100-mile races ever coming up for Father's Day. It's the Mohican 100-mile race here in Ohio. It ends on Father's Day for those of us lucky enough to finish it. And so that makes it extra special. It's a redemption attempt for me. A few years ago, I made it 99 miles and timed out at 32 hours. Heat index was about 110 degrees. So it's going to be hot. It's basically the summer solstice week. So of course, being in an open sandal with no socks is a big benefit in terms of managing body temperature and keeping more of the hydration in my body. Additionally, at the Gnawbone 50K 2 days ago, we just finished it, one of my trekking poles ended up being dysfunctional, had to toss it out. And so that was my first time running an ultramarathon with only one trekking pole on a course that happens to be very similar to the Mohican 100. So anyways, the plan at this point, EVs on my feet, one trekking pole, going for a sub 32-hour finish and buckle at the Mohican 100. Be kind to yourself, be kind to the planet. That topic brings me back to the small, lightweight envelope that the EVs came in. There's no box to throw away or recycle. Very minimal amount of packaging that comes with the EV. So it's a green product. Literally green laces, but it's also, and green rubber, but it's a more environmentally correct pair of footwear in that they are extremely long lasting with minimal packaging.